There are people who love like a journey. They come and go, leaving behind a few memories, a few rainy days. But Cancer is different. They love as if building a home. Every brick is care, every wall is patience. For them, love isn't a sudden rush, but a place to return to after a long day where no one else seems to understand. To love, for Cancer, is to stay, not through promises, but through daily presence. People often say Cancer is sensitive, but few realize that this sensitivity is a kind of intuition. They don't wait for you to speak, they already feel it in your eyes, your tone, even in the quiet spaces within your heart. And they love you in the way you haven't yet learned to love yourself. Not loud, not showy, but deep enough to be unforgettable. Perhaps it's this kind of love that makes Cancer so selective about who they let into their world. They don't stop people from coming close, but they won't open the door to anyone who isn't gentle enough to stay. They need someone who listens more than they argue, who touches softly rather than holds tightly, and who's deep enough to understand love doesn't always lie in what's spoken, but in what's preserved in silence. So, among the 12 zodiac signs, who will make Cancer feel safe? Who will make their heart bloom, and who will, unknowingly, brush against an old fear and make them step back? What happens when Cancer's love meets the fire of Aries, or walks alongside the calm steadiness of Capricorn? And what unfolds when they touch the dreamy soul of Pisces? Will it turn into a wave or a quiet sea? In the next chapter, we'll explore each pairing, as if traveling through different heartbeats. Not to judge what's right or wrong, or who's compatible or not, but to understand that everyone who walks into Cancer's life carries a lesson. One will teach them to let go. One will teach them to hold on. One will break their heart, just so they can learn how to love themselves better. And if you've ever been a Cancer or ever loved someone born under this sign, don't miss the videos that follow. Because perhaps in one of these small stories you'll find yourself, or find the memory of someone your heart is still quietly holding on to. Cancer and Aries, like fire and water, meeting not to see who fades first, but to see whether such contrast can create a warmth strong enough to keep them together. One is fire, Aries, ruled by Mars, impulsive, passionate, driven by instinct and never afraid to begin. The other is water, Cancer, guided by the moon, sensitive, deep, and always loving with their whole heart. From the very first encounter, they may be drawn to what they lack in themselves. Aries sees warmth and gentleness in Cancer. Cancer, in turn, is captivated by Aries' intense life energy. But once they step into love, astrological differences begin to clash. Aries wants everything clear, fast, and emotionally expressive in a bold, direct way. Meanwhile, Cancer needs time and space for their feelings to mature. They love through glances, through quiet care, through things left unsaid. One charges forward, the other needs a shell to feel safe within. Without enough patience and understanding, this relationship can easily flare up and quickly burn out. Aries may see Cancer as complicated and hard to read. Cancer may think Aries is reckless and lacking depth. But if Aries learns to slow down, to observe instead of react, and Cancer learns to trust more, stepping out from their shell, they'll find themselves strangely completing each other. The union of fire and water isn't meant to dissolve into one another, but to create warmth, just enough to hold each other close. And if they can make it past those fragile early days, this could become a love story that feels raw and real, where Aries learns what it means to truly love someone with depth, and Cancer realizes that sometimes the heart needs to be awakened by an unexpected flame. Cancer and Taurus, a quiet relationship, not loud but so deep that you can't look away even for a moment. When earth and water come together, one lives through stability, the other through emotion. Their love doesn't arrive with noise, but it holds together in a strangely enduring way. Taurus, ruled by Venus, values peace, loyalty, and has a strong tendency toward long-term attachment. Cancer, under the influence of the moon, loves instinctively, always placing their heart at the center. Neither is in a rush, neither seeks chaos. Both want to build a home rather than chase fleeting emotion. Their harmony comes from the little things. A knowing look, a warm meal, a simple touch that needs no words. Taurus gives Cancer a sense of safety, the feeling that they don't need to put on a strong front just to be loved. Cancer, in turn, makes Taurus feel deeply appreciated, as if every quiet effort they make is genuinely seen and felt. However, that very stability can turn into repetition if neither is willing to open up. Taurus may become stubborn and silent in the face of conflict. Cancer might withdraw into hurt, hoping the other will simply understand. Without enough emotional sensitivity to communicate and refresh the bond, they could find themselves in love, yet still lonely. But when both learn to be more proactive, Taurus daring to speak their mind, and Cancer showing what they need, this relationship becomes something others admire. No need for grand declarations, no dramatic twists, just the quiet decision to stay every day without ever looking away from each other. Cancer and Gemini, one longs to stay, the other carries wings that never stop flying. Is this love a place to stay, or a journey chasing something never meant to be held? One is air, Gemini, quick, curious, and forever drawn to freedom. One is water, Cancer, deep, emotional, and always seeking a sense of belonging. They meet like a breeze brushing a still lake, gentle, fresh, and full of intrigue. Gemini is charmed by Cancer's tenderness, while Cancer can't look away from Gemini's lively energy. But it's these very contrasts that spark tension. Gemini doesn't understand Cancer's need for certainty. Cancer feels hurt by Gemini's constant shifts in mood and direction. One wants to stay, the other keeps moving. If Cancer doesn't learn to let go lightly, they may end up hurting themselves. If Gemini doesn't learn to pause, they might lose a love that won't come twice. This is a relationship about boundaries. Cancer learning to love without clinging, and Gemini learning to be free without forgetting to hold. If both mature, they'll find each other not to change, but to grow into their best selves, side by side. Cancer and Cancer, when two hearts both long for a home, they don't need many words, just the gentle rhythm of feeling each other beat. When two Cancers meet, it's like two seashells seeking a peaceful shore to finally open up. Guided by the moon, they're both sensitive, emotional, and yearning for safety and deep connection. They can understand each other through a single look, a gentle touch, or a shared silence. But because they are so alike, they easily fall into a quiet trap, where both hide their pain to avoid burdening the other. One stays quiet, the other waits. And in the end, they both feel alone within the same love. If they don't dare to speak honestly, the relationship may become a soft, sweet emptiness, tender but lifeless. Yet if one of them gathers the courage to say, "I'm tired," or "I just feel a little lonely," the other will be the first to rush in. Their love isn't loud or flashy, but if nurtured with honesty and gentleness, it becomes a deeply rooted emotional home, a place where both can simply be themselves, fragile if needed, soft if needed, but never, ever left behind. Cancer and Leo, like sunlight entering a soft, rain-soaked heart, warm, radiant, yet capable of burning if not gentle enough to understand the wounds that haven't yet healed. One is ruled by the moon. Cancer lives through emotion, depth, and the constant need to belong. One is ruled by the sun. Leo is bold, confident, radiant, and craves to be loved openly and passionately. When they meet, it's like sunlight reflecting on water, dazzling yet enchanting. Cancer sees in Leo a safe haven. Leo is drawn to Cancer's tender, kind heart, unlike anyone they've ever met. But this contrast isn't easy to reconcile. Leo needs to be seen and admired. Cancer loves quietly, through glances, warm meals, silent waiting. One loves by shining, one loves by stepping back to hold. Without enough sensitivity, they can easily hurt each other. Leo may find Cancer cold, while Cancer may see Leo as demanding and overwhelming. But if Leo learns to hear what isn't spoken, and Cancer learns to express emotions more clearly, they can begin to heal each other. Leo helps Cancer grow confident and bold. Cancer helps Leo understand that not all love needs a spotlight. Some love only needs a quiet place to come home to. Cancer and Virgo, two people who may not say much, but build love from the smallest acts, quietly yet deeply enough to make each other feel truly loved. One lives through emotion and intuition, Cancer ruled by the moon. One lives through logic and analysis, Virgo guided by Mercury. They don't come together with sparks, but with trust formed in small, silent, delicate gestures. Cancer gives Virgo a sense of genuine care. Virgo offers Cancer safety through quiet, thoughtful actions. Their love isn't loud or flashy, but steady like a small flame that continues to burn through the longest rainy days. One asks, one remembers. They love through presence and action, more than through flowery words. Yet sometimes their differences grow tiring. Cancer finds Virgo too rational. Virgo finds Cancer too sensitive. The key is honest, simple communication, no guessing games, no evasiveness. Just one patient heart and one gentle soul can build a love that needs no promises, only the quiet decision to stay every single day. Cancer and Libra, a conversation between true emotion and a balance often too logical, where one needs to feel and the other weighs every should and shouldn't. One lives through honest emotions, Cancer ruled by the moon, loves through presence and the desire to be needed. One seeks harmony, Libra ruled by Venus, loves beauty and romance but often hesitates between heart and mind. When they meet, it's like two delicate souls brushing past each other, tender, curious, and slightly guarded. Cancer needs certainty to open up. Libra needs time to know what they truly want. One fears being left, one fears being trapped. Without honest communication, they might exhaust each other. Cancer sees Libra as indecisive, while Libra sees Cancer as emotionally heavy. But if Libra dares to speak their true needs, and Cancer learns to soften their emotional weight, they can build a love that isn't perfect, but is real. One creates space, one fills it with care, and when they meet at the right time, their love becomes a space to breathe, to be heard, and to be loved, without having to force a perfect fit. Cancer and Scorpio. When silence becomes the language of love, they don't need to speak to understand. Just being near is enough to touch the deepest parts of each other's soul. This is one of the most emotionally intense and private pairings in the zodiac. Cancer and Scorpio, both water signs, live through intuition, loyalty, and all-consuming love once they've chosen someone. They don't need words to understand each other. A look, a touch, is more than enough. Scorpio is drawn to Cancer's softness and sincerity, someone who never tries to control, yet always feels like a place to return to. Cancer feels safe with Scorpio, someone who protects quietly yet powerfully, with a presence that speaks louder than words. Their love is not loud, it's the quiet kind of bond that becomes a refuge from the noise of the world. But too much silence can create distance. Cancer may retreat when hurt. Scorpio holds in pain, afraid of betrayal. If neither opens up, love may slowly become space. A space neither wants, but both are afraid to cross. Yet if one has the courage to speak, the other will be the first to listen with their whole heart. Scorpio teaches Cancer to be strong and grounded. Cancer teaches Scorpio to be gentle and to forgive. They don't need to prove anything, because if they can weather the quietest days without letting go, they already know this is someone who will stay. Cancer and Sagittarius, one wants to stay, the other always longs to move forward. Their love is the pause between two opposing journeys, where the heart slows down to hear its own call. Cancer, ruled by the moon, loves through attachment, the need to belong and the dream of building a home. Sagittarius, guided by Jupiter, is all about freedom, optimism, always facing forward, driven by the urge to explore. They meet like two opposing worlds. One dreams of a warm kitchen, the other of distant fields they haven't yet reached. Cancer is drawn to Sagittarius's sincerity and bright, uplifting energy. Sagittarius finds in Cancer a gentle, honest soul, something rare in their fast-paced travels. But when love settles into reality, the differences become clear. Cancer craves presence and emotional certainty, while Sagittarius fears being tied down and often retreats when things get too deep. Without mutual understanding, Cancer will always be waiting, and Sagittarius will always feel held back. But if Cancer can learn to trust the uncertain and Sagittarius can learn to slow down and listen, this love becomes a healing journey. One learns to fly farther, the other learns to stay grounded, and together they grow, not to change each other, but to truly be themselves. Cancer and Capricorn. When silence becomes a promise, unspoken but unwavering, they love through action and steady presence, like the foundation of a lasting bond. Cancer and Capricorn stand on opposite ends of the zodiac. One is emotional, tender, and ruled by the moon. The other is rational, composed, and guided by Saturn, the planet of responsibility, discipline, and limits. They seem to have nothing in common, yet it's exactly that contrast that creates a powerful pull, where emotion finds strength and logic finds peace. Cancer longs for safety, and Capricorn brings a quiet kind of protection that needs no words. In return, Capricorn, so used to bearing everything alone, finds in Cancer a gentle refuge where they can finally let go. They don't need grand declarations of love, only the quiet knowing that come what may, the other will still be there. Their challenge lies in how they express love. Cancer needs to feel it, while Capricorn often shows it silently through action. But if Capricorn learns to open up and Cancer learns to trust in presence over words, their bond will be deep and resilient, like stone that never wears down, like the sea that never dries, a love not loud, but strong enough to weather any silence without ever letting go. Cancer and Aquarius. One needs connection from the heart, the other lives in the freedom of the mind. Their love is a lesson in how to love without holding on, how to stay close without being tied down. Cancer lives through emotion, always needing closeness, care, and clear signs of love. Aquarius, by contrast, is driven by ideals, valuing freedom, individuality, and often loving more through intellect than through feeling. When they meet, curiosity sparks. Cancer finds Aquarius intriguing and unpredictable, while Aquarius is drawn to Cancer's depth and honesty. But this relationship can feel like trying to hold on to the wind, beautiful but exhausting without enough understanding. Aquarius isn't used to showing emotions consistently, while Cancer needs presence and reassurance to feel safe. One seeks connection, the other seeks space. If Cancer feels abandoned and Aquarius feels confined, the gap between them will widen. But if Aquarius learns to show up at the right moments and Cancer learns to respect their partner's need for freedom, they can create a different kind of love, one where emotion is honored and ideals are shared. Cancer teaches Aquarius how to love with the heart. Aquarius teaches Cancer that love doesn't mean being together every moment, it means being together in the right way. Cancer and Pisces. When two hearts meet without words, their love isn't loud or flashy, but runs deep like an underground stream nourishing every corner of the soul. Both belong to the water element. Cancer, led by the moon, feels deeply and yearns for safety. Pisces, under Neptune's influence, is dreamy, compassionate, and loves with intuitive depth. When they meet, it's not a spark, it's a gentle yet powerful current, as if they had known each other in another life. Cancer finds soft understanding in Pisces, while Pisces feels safe in Cancer's non-judgmental arms. They love through intuition, through empathy, through presence that asks for no explanation. A look, a soft touch, enough to feel deeply loved. But their shared sensitivity can also become a challenge. Cancer may see Pisces as unrealistic or lost in dreams. Pisces may find Cancer too controlling or overly serious. One needs to anchor, one longs to drift. Yet if both learn to build healthy emotional boundaries, where feelings are respected but not overwhelming, they can create a love that is both deep and healing. Pisces teaches Cancer to believe in magic again. Cancer helps Pisces find steady ground. And so, without needing many words, they remain light as breath, yet solid as a miracle. Cancer doesn't love like anyone else. They don't love with logic, nor do they love for ease. They love through presence, through memory, and through the little details most people tend to overlook. To be loved by a Cancer is a privilege, but it's also a journey that demands maturity and empathy. With Aries, they learn to grow through conflict. With Taurus, they find stability and lasting attachment. With Gemini, they understand that change doesn't always mean departure. With another Cancer, they learn how to remain silent, yet still understand each other completely. Leo teaches them to be more confident. Virgo gives them the quiet comfort of companionship. With Libra, they learn to balance between honesty and harmony. Scorpio shows them how to love deeply and hold on without needing words. Sagittarius helps them see that someone who longs to wander might still want to come home. Capricorn gives them a sense of safety that doesn't need to be spoken. Aquarius opens up a version of love that's free yet still connected. And Pisces, the one most in tune, helps them believe in a love that feels like a gentle. Each zodiac sign is a mirror, reflecting different parts of Cancer's heart, from tenderness no one else has ever touched to old wounds still waiting to be healed. If you're a Cancer, know this: your emotions don't make you weak, they make you real. And if you've ever been loved by a Cancer, know that you've been loved with everything they had, nothing flashy, but utterly, wholeheartedly true. For those of you with other zodiac signs who want to know how your sign connects in love with all 12 signs, check the description. I've linked detailed guides for each one.